Hey Joe, Coach Brandon here, and today I'll go ahead and go over a few of the videos that you recently sent me over, and then also a few of the programming details around your new training block. Let's go ahead and get into it. So first off, I want to go over this little rowing video because it was something. For rows, not necessarily compound movement, injury risk is kind of high. At the same time, if you can optimize it, that'd be great. Still really important. Your goals of getting better muscle hypertrophy, getting a bigger back, all that good stuff. And obviously, back strength has a huge correlation to powerlifting strength or just lifting in any facet. So if you look at this video here, though, we're treating it like a curl row. You'll notice there's a lot of elbow flexion involved. Your wrists come above your elbows. And at first, it's a nice traditional row, but then at the end, it's more of a curl. And what this does is it limits the amount of weight you can actually handle because it's such a bicep-dominant exercise. And as we mostly know, the back is 70% of our upper body strength. The biceps are like, I don't know, something like 5% of our upper body strength. So we want to train the back, and if we're using our bicep for half the movement, the bicep is going to be a limiting factor in how much load we can handle in a row. So if we look at the actual video here, again, a lot of curling towards the end, and what we want it to look like is, if I can show you the best I can here, we want it to be a straight back angle, just like so. Every time like that. Anytime, even if we're in a supinated motion, anytime we actually curl up like this, again, we're going to be limited by our bicep strength. So even if we're in a supinated position, we want to drive that elbow straight back, get full range of motion, and then come forward. But the wrist should never be higher than the actual elbow angle. The second we do that, using way too much bicep. If you're looking to do curls, crank it out, kill it. Let's do some bicep curls, a lot of isolation work. But at the same time, we don't want to combine the two with a row. So let's really try to isolate the back the best we can and have a more straight back angle. Wrist never go above the elbow. Now, besides that, things are looking really good. Your sumo deadlift has gotten a ton better. We're getting better at building tension, which is great. Look at the video here. Looks really, really nice. No more soft knee lockout. We're locking out appropriately. Beautiful knees to plates. Everything's looking pretty good. Nice tempo on the way down. Now, I definitely say you can handle heavier load with the tempo work. Unfortunately, we are just about done with the tempo work, and in your new block, we are kind of veering away from it a little bit, even though it's a very rewarding exercise. But at the same time, when we do tempos in the future, you can definitely handle heavier load. It looked quite easy. But besides that, killer. Looked really, really good. I like your new pattern, and like I said, the tension building portion is getting a lot better. Now, looking at a few videos from last week. I can't remember which one I want to start with. I think it was this one. Look at this guy here. Your squat's gotten incredible, a ton better. It seems like you're filling your weightlifting belt really well with your diaphragm. Your breathing and bracing is good, and what I'm most impressed by is the hinging pattern. Seems like the hinging cue along with our RDL work has paid off greatly because your hinging is immaculate. There's no more lumbar extension flexion, and your power transfer seems to be going really well. Like I said, love the hinge work at the top right there. Beautiful. Really, really nice, and you can tell you're able to handle much heavier load once we get to that point. So this next block should be very rewarding because we can kind of veer away from so much technique work because your technique seems to be really good. You get into a little heavier load, a little more mechanically advantaged lifts, and then also get into more hypertrophy, which is always fun. So looking at probably one more video here. I think it was this guy here. And I also really like your dumbbell ground bench. It's looking really good. We are going to soon change from dumbbells to barbells, though. So consider that at your gym. Look where you would set that up at, because it's kind of hard to set up in some commercial gyms. But for now, dumbbells are going really well, so I don't want to change from it. But yeah, it's looking really good. I like how you're controlling the eccentric real well. Seems like you're creating good tension as well, and it's moving at a good speed on the way up. You've also progressed weight extremely well. I think we started on like 40, 45 pounds. Now we're at 65, so I want to continue to see that progression as we get into lower reps and obviously heavier load, higher intensities. Really good stuff, though. All right, so looking at actual programming now. So new block, this is what it's going to look like. We are going to go up in intensity a little bit, and you're going to see a lot of new accessories that are going to be challenging for you. We're moving on to a 3 rep cycle, so we're going to do front loaded triples to start things off, which will be really nice because you can use some of your new form cues with a much heavier load, doing front loaded triples instead of back loaded stuff. And pin squats going to be a few new variations for you. Pin squats are going to be a little bit more challenging. It's going to challenge some of your sticking points you currently have. We're going to set the pins down to right at 90 degrees in your squat for a little higher volume there, 2 sets of 5. We're going to continue with the floor press, continue with dumbbells for a little bit longer, but drop the rep range down quite a bit so you can get into heavier load. Tempo leg presses, we're going to get into more isolation work, like I said before. That'll be a nice, fun one for you. Ease bar skull crusher with pause. You're just going to do a 2-count pause towards the bottom. And then the next new accessory would be Spoto press. Spoto press, 2-count pause, 1 inch off the chest. We have to be very exact with how far off the chest you are pausing. I'd like a lot of videos of these because oftentimes when I program this for my clients, it's extremely rewarding exercise for pressing strength. But at the same time, if you end up, without thinking about it, pausing 3 to 4 inches off the chest, and it may not be that big of a difference in your head, but it does make a big difference in the grand scheme of things. So let's go ahead and send a few videos in on those guys, and then also just make sure it's exactly an inch if possible. Front squat with pause, we're going to keep those going, except drop the rep range quite a bit so you can get a heavier load. We're adding in a few new bodyweight exercises, dips for 4 sets of 8. We're really going to try to add load there as well. Oops, misspelled that. We're really going to try to add load if possible. Hopefully there's a weight belt at your gym. But yeah, so 4 sets of 8, trying to add load there as well. Next new one is going to be intermediate sumo deadlift. So we're going to go ahead and deadlift off of 2-inch blocks, which will be a mechanically advantaged lift to where you can likely handle heavier load. You might even find that even though it's a set of 5, you may be able to do more load than you did with the front-loaded triple. So yeah, don't be afraid to load those quite a bit because, like I said, you're in a better mechanical position to move heavier weight. Then the next exercise is, again, we're going to move into more isolation and hypertrophy style of training to get to your mass gaining goal. So you'll see T-bar rows, quad extensions, seated overhead press, and you'll see more and more additions to that as your form continues to grow better and strength continues to get better as well. Let me know if you have any questions whatsoever on those. Keep the videos coming, especially the ones that I mentioned. And yeah, just let me know if you have any questions.